The views and opinions expressed in the DILLIGAF Podcast are those of the host alone and are not intended to express those of any other person, business, or entity. The DILLIGAF Podcast is for entertainment only. These are my opinions and should not be interpreted as facts or advice. Think for yourself.
Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah. I think that we've all had enough.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the debut episode of the DILLIGAF Podcast. My name's Tom. I am your host. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for checking out the show, for watching or listening on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Please make sure to follow, like, subscribe, share, rate, comment. All that stuff helps the show out so much. So please, if y'all don't mind, please do those things for me, and make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at DILLIGAF_pod, and you can find all that stuff on my Linktree, which is Linktree/DILLIGAF_pod, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can scan this little QR code over here in the corner of your screen. That'll take you right to the Linktree. So for today's topic, the debut episode is Meet Your Host. And that's me. Like I said, my name's Tom. I am 46 years old, live in Chicago, Illinois. I was born in Southern California. Was raised by my mom. My dad passed away in 1981 from lung cancer, so I was raised by a single mom from the age of about 4. And I'm divorced. I have a 22-year-old son of my own. My ex-wife is not my son's mother, thank God. But whole nother story. You'll probably hear more about that in later episodes. But I do have a regular day job. I work in accounts receivable. I've been doing that for about 22 years. And for those that don't know, I say that a lot of people think I'm an accountant. I am not an accountant. Accounts receivable is basically I deal with all the money that comes into my company. And right now I've worked for many different companies in that same kind of role, and right now I'm working for a sports equipment company here in Chicago. I've been with them for just about 3 years, and I like what I do. It's what I've been doing, why I've been doing it for so long, and it pays the bills, which is the most important part. Prior to that, I worked in private security for a while for like sporting events, everything from sporting events to concerts to office buildings to places you wouldn't want to set foot in. And again, you'll probably hear more about that in later episodes. And before that, I worked in retail right out of high school, mostly in like paint and hardware stores, places like Home Depot, Ace Hardware, that kind of thing. So that was my first work out of high school. And I'm also I guess you could say an amateur musician. I play the guitar, I play the drums. If you want to check out any of my music, I do have a SoundCloud. Go on SoundCloud and look up Torn Outlaw, only one word, and you'll be able to check out some of the stuff that I've created. And I'll probably at some point here and there I may throw some of my music into the show, like at the end, just to give you guys a sample of the kind of things that I do. But again, that'll be later on. And prior to this show, I actually did a pro wrestling podcast for about 5 years. It was called Catch, Hook, and Shoot. All the episodes are still out there, so any pro wrestling fans, if you want to go check them out, they're on all the podcasting platforms, Spotify, iTunes, all that kind of stuff. So, feel free to check them out. Let me know what you think of them. Unfortunately, in doing that, for spending 5 years doing that, I got completely burnt out on professional wrestling, which honestly makes me very sad, because pro wrestling was a huge part of my life, basically from the age of 5 all the way up to the age of 45. So, about 40 years, it was like just this huge passion that I had. And I got into podcasting, and I was also doing internet radio, live commentary for an independent wrestling company here in Chicago called Warrior Wrestling. But it became like another full-time job, more than a full-time job. I think I was putting more hours into that podcast every week than I was my actual day job. And between the traveling and research that went into it, and just generally watching wrestling on TV literally every day so that I could talk about it on the show every week, it just became so overwhelming that I just got completely burnt out, and I actually pretty much retired the show a little less than a year ago. Like I said, it makes me sad because that was such a huge passion of mine for a long time, but in losing one passion, I found another one, because in the process of doing that, I found out I absolutely love podcasting. I love the creative freedom that it allows. I love the creative process that goes into it. Love being able to get my voice out there and just express myself, express my thoughts, and and just get myself out there, and hopefully have some people listen. So, which brings me to the new show, the DILLIGAF Podcast. And some people might be asking, why DILLIGAF? What the hell is DILLIGAF? For those of you that don't know, DILLIGAF is an acronym, and it stands for Do I Look Like I Give a Fuck? And that, for anybody that knows me, I think they'd agree that kind of suits me, because I'm not afraid to speak my mind or my opinion. I don't care to keep the peace or maintain the status quo. Keeping the peace is just another name for excusing people from accountability for being an asshole. Maintaining the status quo means nothing ever changes. Fuck all that. I'm not afraid to call people out on their bullshit, and I don't shy away from sensitive or uncomfortable subjects. People need to be made uncomfortable, because people have gotten too comfortable with saying and doing whatever the hell they want and thinking there's no consequences or no repercussions. So I'm the one that's going to stand up and call them out and tell them, hey, you're being a dick. So that's pretty much what DILLIGAF is all about. And there's going to be people out there that are going to say, oh, it's easy to talk from behind a camera or behind a microphone. And to those people I say, hey, I live on the north side of Chicago in the Albany Park neighborhood. Come on by. We'll have a nice little chat, because I don't give a fuck. But that's just me. And the tagline for this show is, I will be talking about anything and everything that interests me. If it makes me think, laugh, cry, scream, rage, say what the fuck, you'll hear about it. That's what this show is all about. And it's not always going to be like deep, serious subject matter. I don't want anybody to think it's going to be all serious all the time, because it's not. I mean, I have a lot of different interests, a lot of different things that just fascinate me, and things that I like to talk about, things I like to learn about. It could be anything from music, movies, TV, comedy, religion, philosophy, science, conspiracy theories. That's something that really, really fascinates me, and I'll definitely be getting into those at some point during the show. But law, government, society in general, culture, just people in general. People fascinate me. People piss me off too. You'll hear a lot about that, I'm sure. Life in general, love, anything and everything. It's not one specific subject matter that I'm going to stick to throughout the show. It's completely free form, free flowing. There's no rules, no restraints, no limits, of any kind. And it's going to just be completely unfiltered, uncensored, and just raw. You'll get my real thoughts and feelings on whatever topic it is that I'm talking about. And, it's not always going to be the same formula from one episode to the next. One episode might be 20 minutes long. Like, that's probably about what this one's going to be, give or take. Next episode might be an hour. It depends what I'm talking about, how deep into it I get, and how many tangents I go off on, because I have a tendency to do that sometimes. But so, it's not going to be just the same monotonous thing every single week. And I may have guests from time to time, but for the most part, it's just I'm a one-man show. Everything that you see here is created, written, produced, directed, recorded, edited, and hosted by me. doing this completely on my own here. That's and like I said, I enjoy it. I love the process behind it, and any of the content on the show, any research that's done, any designs like my little Jolly Roger back here, or audio, video, any of that kind of stuff. Again, that's all done by me. Again, I love the creative process that goes into podcasting. I love the freedom that it affords me in being able to express myself, express my thoughts, my opinions, and I'm not beholden or answerable to anybody except myself when it comes to this show. So I hope you guys will get as much enjoyment out of watching or listening as I get out of making it. And I appreciate anyone and everyone who watches or listens to the show and supports the show in any kind of way, whether it's one person or a million people. I'm grateful for every single person who can hear my voice right now. Now, that being said, there will be sensitive topics. I will say things that piss people off. And like it says in the disclaimer at the beginning of the show, these are my opinions. Think for yourself. I'm not trying to persuade or influence anybody. My goal is to entertain and maybe, just maybe now and then, make people think just a little bit. Just a little. Some people don't like to do that, but well, that's the goal. Just get them to open their mind up a little bit. That would be, that would exceed my expectations if I was actually able to do that for anybody. And I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to win people over to my point of view or my way of thinking. If you agree with me, great. Awesome. If you don't, tell me. I want to hear about it. Leave comments on the show. Leave comments on socials. Send me DMs on the socials. Email me. I want the feedback. I want to hear opposing views, or even if you agree with me, I want to hear that too. I want to hear anything that anybody listening to this show has to say about the subject matter that I'm going to be talking about. Like I said, whether you agree with me or not, let me hear about it. Don't be shy. I'm not going to shy away from criticism or from any type of feedback. Just remember that in giving feedback, you may end up on the show. I said it a little while ago, I'm not afraid to call people out. So, and I mean that as far as good and bad feedback. If somebody leaves me a nice comment like, hey, love the show, love your whatever, I may say, hey, Joe from Cleveland, thanks for the great comment, I appreciate you listening, something like that, Or on the flip side of that, if somebody's leaving me some snide remarks and, being insulting or anything like that, well, they're definitely going to get called out. Hey, John from Miami, kiss my ass. Something along those lines. So basically you have no expectation of privacy if you contact me unless you ask for it. If you contact me through like a DM or through email, say what you have to say and put in there, please don't mention me by name on your show, I will respect that. But if you don't ask for it, you have no expectation of privacy with me. So if you have something to say, more than likely it's going to end up on the show, and people are going to, at the very least, people are going to know your screen name from whatever platform you're contacting me on. So bear that in mind when you're dropping messages or DMs or emails or comments or anything like that. So with that, that's pretty much going to wrap up this episode. So about 15 minutes or so is what's going to end up being. Like I said, it could be 15, 20 minutes, could be an hour, depends what I'm talking about. But that's pretty much going to wrap up for right now. Hope you guys enjoyed getting to know a little bit about me and a little bit about what the show is going to be all about. I mean, like I said, it's completely free form, free flowing. It's not going to be the same every week. It's pretty much whatever I feel like talking about that week. So I hope you guys will come along for this ride with me. I hope this has made you look forward to what's coming and will make you want to check the show out in the weeks to come, because I think it should be a lot of fun. At the very least, it should be interesting. If nothing else, it should be an interesting ride. So again, thank you to everybody for checking out the show, for watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from. Once again, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, share, rate, comment, all that kind of stuff. Really helps out the show. So please, y'all could do that. I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure you're following on social media. It's at DILLIGAF_pod on all social media platforms, except for Facebook. Then it's just DILLIGAF pod. I don't know why they don't like the underscore, but it is what it is. And you can find all of that on my Linktree, which is Linktree/DILLIGAF_pod, or just scan the little QR code right here in the corner of the screen. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll get the links to everything, all the podcast platforms and all that kind of stuff. And if you want to shoot me an email, like I said, I welcome any and all comments, feedback, criticism, anything you got. Throw it at me. And you can do that at dilligafpod@gmail.com. So, I'm going to say goodbye for right now. And last but not least, if anyone has any issues with anything that I've said here today or that I will say in the future, ask yourself one question. Do I look like I give a fuck?
Oh yeah, we want retribution.